Ash. Today we're going to talk about how to be a better improviser. This is one of the easiest things you can do. If you think about what improvising means, it means making it up, getting to do what you want, getting to play anything you want. A baby can do this. The thing that makes it harder for us adults or us slightly older people is that we think we have to do it right. And having to do it right can make things difficult. But if you take right or wrong out of the picture and just do it, you'll realize, wow, I'm improvising every moment of every day. I'm a professional at this. We just have to apply that concept to music. So let's do that right now. Let's say I set up a groove in the key of G major. I already have one in a looping pedal, and we're going to improvise over it, okay? Which means I can play whatever I want. But here's the problem. Us music teachers, we tell you that you have to play the right notes. Well, we're wrong. You don't have to play the right notes. Really, the coolest notes are the notes that aren't in the key. So what we usually tell you as teachers is if we're playing in G major, we tell you that you first have to learn the 7 notes that are in G major, like a G, A, C, B, see, I don't even know them, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. That's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. We tell you that you have to learn how to spell that chord before you can play over it. That is totally wrong. You can play over it right away, whatever you want. Any note, right? There are 12 notes in our Western style of music. You can use all of them. I will show you that in a minute. But the first thing I want you to understand is this. Here's another approach to improvising. Don't start with what note to play. Start with rhythm, okay? If you think about dancing to this, we're not dancing to the key of this groove. We're not dancing to the key of the song. Oh, what key is this? G major? Oh, that's my key. I got to get up and get my groove on. That never happens. We dance to the rhythm of it. It's the rhythm that makes our body move. And if the body moves, it's right. Okay? So we're going to I'm going to ask you to play any note, but play it in rhythm. There are only 12 notes, and over half of them are in the key. 7 out of 12 are in the key. So even if you guess which note to play, even if you guess, you're going to be right 7 out of 12 times. That's good odds. And even if you happen to hit one of the 5 notes that aren't in the key, guess what? The note on either side of that wrong note is back in the key. So you're never more than a half step away. Never. How is that difficult? The key is whatever note you play, make the rhythm feel good. And if you can walk, you have good rhythm. So let's get back to G major. I know that G works. F sharp is in the key, that works. Ooh, that's a minor 7 or a dominant 7. It's not in the key, but that sounds really good. That's a really nice note. Let's keep going. That's the 6th of the key. That works. That note is sharp 5. That's a little odd, but I love it. But guess what? If I don't like this note, guess what's on either side of it? A note that's back in the key. If I don't like this note, guess what's on the other side? A note that's in the key. But watch what happens if I go from wrong note to right note with rhythm. All of a sudden, your body goes, ooh, I like it. Just by playing the wrong note to the right note in rhythm makes you like it. All of a sudden, your body says, this is good, and your brain agrees. And you no longer hear this note as wrong because I've showed you where it's going. So whenever you hit a wrong note, show them where it's going. And now we're back. So even if I stay on that wrong note. If I play this wrong note in a way that doesn't relate to the music. Here, let me do this. Let me make it easier. Let me put a bass part on this, listen. So you can hear the bottom of the chord. I forgot to do that. So you can really hear the G major. Listen to this now. Now you really hear that. You can hear the G. So if I go back to this E flat, right? In the key of G, that can be a note that rubs in the wrong way. But if I play it, all of a sudden, now I'm playing it in a rhythmic way that relates to the music. And all of a sudden, now your body starts to feel the note. And when you feel it, you accept it a little bit better. Now, if I just take this note and show you where it's going, even your brain accepts it. So what I'm getting at is learn to use all of the notes. You don't have to start by learning what the right notes are. Your ear and your body will tell you which notes are right to you. Okay? It's good to learn the theoretical way too, but I want you to say which note is right. It's not up to me to tell you. So explore all of the notes and then find the ones that you like. The next thing you can do is once you find notes that you like, explore them. Don't go anywhere. If I go 1, that's the 2, right? The A, that's the major third, the B. I'm just going to stick with these 3 notes. The G, the 1, the A, which is the second note, the 2, and then the B, which is the 3. I'm not going to use any other notes, but I'm going to add rhythm and feel to it. Okay, if I just go, that's good, that works, but you're more creative than that, right? So rhythmically, slide in to the note. All of a sudden with 3 notes, I've got your attention. With just 3 notes, but guess what? There's 9 other notes. And when I use all of the notes with that much attention, you're going to like it. Now, if you do know a little bit of theory, music theory, I know that in the key of G major, I have G major. If I go up a whole step, I've got A minor. Another whole step, B minor. Half step, C major, D major, and so on. So in other words, if I'm in G major, I have all these other chords that I can play. So instead of just playing G major and solo over G major, I can also solo over A minor. Then I can solo over B minor. Then I can solo in C major, D major, and so on. So you don't have to think of G major as just one key. Even though the chord is staying put, I can move through the chord changes. Does that make sense? I can move through chord changes that aren't even there, because all these 6 other chords are in G major. Does that make sense? I don't have to treat it as if we're in one key, because there's always other keys inside of whatever key you're in. So when you learn a key, when you learn G major or whatever key, just know that if you go up a whole step, if we're in the major key, the whole step up brings you the minor chord. Another whole step up is a minor chord. You go up a half step, you get the major chord. Another whole step to the 5 is a major chord. The 6 is minor, the 7 is minor, and you're back home. So if I use all of those, even though the chords are staying in G major, I can add all of these chords. Now I can use those chords to solo over. I have G major, A minor, C major. And then I ended with a chromatic scale. So you have all of these choices. Add rhythm to all of that, and bingo, you're improvising. Okay, so let's go in a different direction. Let's say the chords are not staying in one place. The chords are actually moving. So let's say, and let's take it to a minor key. So let's say now we're in G minor. So now we have A, B flat, then we go to E flat to D dominant. Okay? Now, I'm not naming these chords because I don't want you to get caught up in the names of the chords. In this case, what I'm showing you, it doesn't matter what the chords are, okay? Now, what we did before is when the chords were in one place, we moved. If it was G major, we went to A minor, we went to B minor, that kind of thing. Now the chords are moving, so I'm going to tell you, stay in one place. I can stay put and let the chords move around me. Because the chords are moving, it sounds like I'm moving. So it sounds more like I'm moving, but it's really the chords moving around me. If I follow the chords and if I play the root of each chord, it sounds like I'm not moving. So when the chords are moving, it allows me to move less. The other things you can do is to play with rhythms, come up with rhythms, less notes, more rhythms, right? Utilizing a lot of space in your soloing so that people can hear what you're soloing to. I'll play a line, take a breath like a horn player. There are so many tools that you can use, but I'm going to bring you back to my favorite one, which is the chromatic scale. Again, I like to say you paid for every note, use them all. So just let me allow you to hear what every note sounds like. And you want to do this over every key. Now, there are going to be some notes that are technically wrong, but you can play them in a way that makes them feel right. I'm in the key of G minor. I'm going to play all 12 tones starting from G. 1, 2, ready, go. If there's a note that really rubs wrong, most people run away from it. I stay with it. Because now, that note doesn't sound bad, does it? If I had run from it, it would have left you feeling bad. Remember, that was the bad note. Sounds good now. That was every note. Listen. Rhythm. So explore all the notes, but use them with feel. Make sure that when you're using a note, it fits the groove of the song and you make it feel right. Then the person's body feels the note, and if it feels right, even if the pitch is wrong, the brain will accept it. I hope that helps. Different ways of